Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press here with one half of the Misfits 12 title fight. Elle Brooke taking on AJ Bunker. Elle, so many questions, so I want to get right into it. What are the feelings for this one? First fight back with Misfits. It's finally for a belt, and you're fighting back at a more natural weight class. I have to imagine the excitement is just different for this one.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, like I've had the best experience with Misfits, my last fight with Faith. So, this is a promotion that I want to be on long term. So I have to come back with a bang, win that belt. Because I've been given an opportunity. I literally went to another promotion and they were like, oh, here's the title fight. Like, man, I owe everything to these guys. So I'm going to work hard, train hard, put the best performance on, and then go to Vegas straight after.
I want to ask you about all the stuff that's been going on with AJ. What do you think of some of the antics? She shrinks the training dummy. She's calling you and Ebony the blonde bullies. I mean, what's been your reaction to some of the things she's chosen to take a shot at?
I just think she's super uncreative with her promotion. Like the whole goal was just ripping off me. She's champion. She should be holding a standard and setting, like being a role model for other people that this is what you want to do if you want to be champion, and this is the level of promotion you should set. If you want to fight on Misfits, but she's absolutely going against that. I think she's the most awful Misfits champion there is, and this is opportunity for me because I know I work hard, I'm great for the brand. Yeah, I don't think she puts the work in social media to deserve being champion.
There was something I found a little odd. She likes to take a lot of shots at the fact that you do, more stuff on OnlyFans. But then when she won her belt, the first thing she did was do her own sexy photo shoot in the bed with it, kind of similar to how you did. I mean, what was your reaction to that? Because I was like, I feel like that's a little
It's
bit the pot calling the kettle black.
I know, like she literally did a photo shoot knocking off what I did. Like she is so uncreative. Like I think, Misfits is a business and they need people that they can rely on to promote and be good characters within the space and the roster that people are going to be invested in. And you're not going to be a good character on the Misfits roster if you're not like if you're a hypocritical and you're not putting the effort in. Yeah, she's the biggest hypocrite ever.
And then I've heard you guys talk ad nauseum about, how you guys have grown. I'd like to ask you to go back to the first fight because it was significant. First women's Misfits fight, first, your debut for both of you. You've gotten so much experience since then. When you look back on where you were as a boxer, maybe just entering the boxing scene, what do you reflect on most about that first fight and the first time you get to go out there and throw hands?
Yeah, I think to be honest, it was harder than I thought it was. When you spar, obviously you're not trying to win spars, but when you're in the fight, you've got someone that's essentially trying to kill you. So it's a big learning curve. And I think looking back on that fight, I was getting frustrated a lot of the times. Like AJ tried to kick me, like she was headlocking me. But now I'm a lot more calm, collected, and professional. So yeah, she won't get in my head this time, even though I won. I know that I could have put on a better performance. So this is my time to shine. And she always says that that fight was rigged and she was robbed, and she wasn't humble in defeat. So this time is a chance to be like, I am the bigger the better the person.
Obligatory question about your best friend forever, Miss Astrid Wett. Does winning this belt get you closer to making that a reality, or do you feel like you guys are just going to stay on parallel paths no matter what after this one?
I will fight her regardless what happens. I really, really want that fight with her. For me, that's the only fight that makes sense. Like other than like Jake Paul KSI, like that's one that's like deep rooted. It's never happened, but she won't take it on. So I think the pressure is on Misfits to make that fight happen. I can only do so much. I know that she wants to fight at 51, but our first fight was 56 kilos. So she's dodging that and she's given an excuse. So I'll even fight lighter than 56, but not 51 because that's not something I could get to.
Fair enough. I'm sure you see it all the time. All the fans, every time they talk about the Dream Misfits card, there's never one that doesn't obviously have you too. I'm sure you've seen that. Another question on that. If you two were to fight, would you bring up her boxing skills more or the fact that City has beaten Chelsea the last 6 out of 7 times?
Both. Oh my God. I already rip into her all the time on Twitter about obviously our football teams, let alone having the bragging rights of beating her in a boxing match, because that's something that's never happened, like is the unknown. So no, I'd absolutely batter the crap out of her as well. I need that needs to happen before I don't like before I die. Like, I don't know, like this just needs to happen. That is the one fight that I want and the rest of the UK wants. It's the big money fight, and there's no other female girl fights anyway that comes remotely far close to how good that fight would be.
I mean, look, a lot of fans would be excited for it. I can only imagine what it'd be like to finally give it to the people who ask you, I assume, every day about it. I'd like to ask you a little bit about business wise, because usually when I talk to boxers and fighters, it's about moving up the ladder. And, you want to fight, if you're number 10, you want to fight number 9 to finally be number 1 and nobody disputes it. Influencer boxing is a different scene. And I think that sometimes that means the goals fight to fight are different. And it's not necessarily about, the best boxer, even if they have a small name. It's about a business. It's about a bit of the, impact on social media and the brand for yourself, for the company, etc. So when I ask you this, what would you feel is a better 2024 for you? One more fight, and let's say it's against Astrid, or you have two fights and they're against, like I saw you tell your boyfriend Fred Beck, Lana Rhodes, and like a Riley Reid or an Amaranth. Would that be a
Mm.
bigger year than just that one fight finally with Astrid because the other two are so much bigger?
Yeah, I think, well, within the space, I would really want to beat Astrid because that's the one that everyone wants to see. As you said, on everyone's kind of like fantasy boxing cards, that's the one that's always on there. And she's always going after me, and especially, after I lost with Julie, she was like making a video like laughing at me. So she's absolutely cruel. So, and she says that she'd always beat me. So, and also the fact that she's experienced, like she's already won 3 fights. Like, what does it take? Like, even though Riley Reid's super famous. Like she's not experienced, so I don't know how much credit I would get for fighting someone like that. Whereas at least Astrid, she's a champion. Hopefully, I win this fight, and then I can become two-weight champion.
I mean, a couple of things I want to ask you. So when you listen to like a guy like Jake Paul, and he's like, as much as I did, the crossover thing a little bit, I want to be proven legit as a boxer. Elle, you train with, Miss Champion Ebony Bridges, a lot of serious pros. Do you ever feel like you may get to the point you love boxing enough that you'd want to get into that? Or do you think it's like, I'm here to take the influencer boxing specifically as far as I can take it?
I would absolutely love to. I think that if, it's just like seeing where my career path goes. At the moment, I want to smash the influencer boxing. I want to get that belt because that achieves that I'm the best at that weight class within my own division. And then maybe one day I could go pro. I love it and I train enough to probably turn pro one day. But obviously, I've only been boxing 18 months, so it would have to be a few years in the future.
I'd like to ask you about some of the growth in the women's division. We obviously hear Mams Taylor talking about bringing in more talent. Hearing about a two-belt holder from America, Nikki Rue, coming over to Misfits, possibly around your weight class. I mean, what are your thoughts on fighting women like Nikki and others who, are just now entering the scene and being a part of Misfits in the future?
Yeah, no, it's good. I think that it the scene needs more women because some cards they don't have any women on. If so, one female fight. So there needs to be more women. And at the moment, I was waiting so long in between fights, and there wasn't anyone to fight because there literally is no one in this scene to have a fight with. So no, I think it's really good. I think it's like women empowering. It's obviously such a male dominated sport that it'd be great to have more females involved, and it makes it more competitive, i.e., more exciting.
Have you been able to catch Nikki Rue, some of the other fighters, Michelle coming over, or have they not hit your radar yet?
Then I think they're American, aren't they? So I've not had the fight presented to me yet. But obviously Nikki and you, Michelle Care,
Yeah.
she's obviously amazing. She had her debut and she looked unreal. So I hope that she continues boxing.
Now, I'm usually an MMA person. I want to ask, you did promote it. with a rather memorable photo, living a little bit with Sammy Joe Luxton last year. Just want to know how was that experience, either training or just, getting to be around her and stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. I adore her as a person and as a fighter. She was good sparring. She's super aggressive, and I think that a key feature of like Muay Thai fighters, that's what she specializes in, or had specialized in. They don't take a step backwards. They are so aggressive. They're just like come forward. So, yeah, no, I think it'd be really good to spar her this year to see how much I've improved because it's been 9 months now. I was such a novice back then. So at least I think, continually sparring with her will be a good benchmark to see how much I've improved.
Last couple here. Can you go back to me? When was the first time you ever got in touch with Miss Ebony Bridges? Because I think, it feels like one of them, a perfect pairing could almost not happen in terms of, just heir apparent and mentee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. We're like sisters. It's fate almost. I met her when I was doing my first camp with Mark 18 months ago. She was in Australia and she'd come back after a few weeks. So I settled in for a few weeks before I met her, and we just hit it off straight away. We can spend so much time together, and she's always there for me mentally. Like you said, she's literally like my mentor, and she helps me so much with advice. If I've ever got a problem or a query, or I'm feeling a certain way, I can go to her, and yeah, she knows how to settle me and keep me at ease.
We hear ma'ams talk about, like Misfits Pro. If they ever made a deal for Miss Ebony, would you want to be on that undercard, fight the same night as her? Showcase fight?
Oh, yeah, 100%. We could do our weight cut together, so at least like we can keep each other sane.
From your last fight, are we going to be walking out to Wonderwall again, or do we have some other plans for the 20th?
This is gonna be a different song. This is gonna be a different one. This is like more of a pump up rather than like a sing along.
Keeping it a surprise, I'm assuming.
It's Kanye West stronger, but
Let's
yeah,
go.
unless I change it.
All right, no worries. Finally, I saw this one on social media recently. Are you doing a show after the fight with Deji, or is it an after party? I was a little unclear about the post.
After party, I think he is putting on a
Okay.
performance, but absolutely not. I'm planning on drinking so much tequila that I can't even speak.
Okay, I saw that and I was reading the description and it's like it almost sounded like you were gonna do almost like a little bit of comedy and I'm like, wait, what if you and AJ beat the crap out of each other? Okay. It's an after party for anyone who wants to come out, show support after the fights and leads.
100%.
Okay, and then I'll leave you this one, L. A lot of people, people's main event. I know. Are you guys gonna be with the mystery opponent AJ Matthews? Are you the co-main, or have they told you you two will be the last to walk?
Co-main.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Finally, how do you get the job done on January 20th against AJ in the rematch?
I think that, the pressure is going to be from the get-go, so hopefully as soon as possible. And I don't want to leave it to the judges this time, so hopefully I can get that knockout.
Awesome. Well, Elle Brooke, once again, we are looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the rematch, Elle Brooke, AJ Bunker, Misfits Championship on January 20th in Leeds. You guys are not going to want to miss it.